Good morning, everyone. I am Captain Chandler from Tableview Police Station, and I'm the communication officer there. I will also be directing the program this morning. So, to do the welcoming for us officially, I'm going to call on Caitlin Mason. She is our youth, and she will introduce herself as well. Thank you, Caitlin.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Caitlin Mason. I am part of the Junior City Council and Tableview Neighbourhood Watch Youth. I would like to welcome you to the launch of the 16 Days of Activism for No Violence Against Women and Children campaign. On behalf of the youth of South Africa, I would like to say how blessed we are, knowing everyone here in attendance today is making a difference and ensuring our future is a safe one. Welcome to the representatives of the South African Police Services, including the amazing SAPS band, for welcoming everyone with beautiful music. The community, Tableview Community Police Forum, Tableview Neighbourhood Watch, all government organizations, all non-profit organizations, all non-government organizations, our SAPS victim support volunteers, all law enforcement agencies, our senior citizens, the youth, and to our community at large. May you all feel welcome, and may the words spoken here today give you peace, courage, strength, wisdom, and inspiration. Thank you.
Darling, appreciate it. Well done, Caitlin. Pastor Brad, if you would like to just do a scripture reading and opening prayer for us.
Before I start, I just would like to say, Captain Chandler and Captain Bam, I think we can turn around and we can put our hands together. This is probably the best turnout we've had in many years for the 16 days launch. I think we can put our hands together for that this morning. I must say I really enjoyed the band this morning, and we can continue afterwards playing some good music. This is a very important event when we think of the 16 days, because if I want to just read a passage in Genesis 4, God comes looking for Cain and he says, "Where is Abel your brother?" And at that moment we know Cain has murdered Abel, and his answer is, "Am I my brother's keeper?" And I want you to turn around this morning, and even those that have joined us online, to realize that we are our brother and sister's keeper. And when we consider this passage for a moment, throughout history there's been gender-based violence for thousands of years. But at some stage, Edmund Burke said, when good people do nothing, evil prevails. And it's in times like this that we have to stand up and do something. And that's exactly what we're doing. We read in the passage where Absalom raped his sister, and we see that David, the king of Israel, the father of Tamar, he did nothing. And that's when we do nothing, what happens is people take the law into their own hands. And that's exactly what Absalom did when he murdered his brother, because of that anger. And we don't have to go that route if we stand up and we become our brother and our sister's keeper, where we begin to have a willingness to accept responsibility for the welfare of our members in our community who are our fellow beings. Just bow your heads with me for a moment. Father, thank you that in Scripture we are taught about taking responsibility. We are taught in your word, through even the mistakes of others, when we don't take responsibility, other people take the law into their own hands. But today we have our South African Police Services, together with our NGOs, together with churches and community members that are saying, we want to stand up. We want to do something. We want to take into account the welfare of others, especially those that have no voice, that we will be a voice for them. I pray, Lord, that you'll bless this time together. It will not only be today, but whatever is sown today will be reaped in our community. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
I would now like to call on Kim Martin from the Riva Steenkamp Foundation, and she will speak a little bit more about the foundation for you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity, Captain, and for also putting this whole event together for a very needy and worthy cause. I'm also a volunteer at the SAPS Victim Empowerment Program. I'm also Reva's cousin. Reva was actually born just down the road on the Gee farm. She was a local to this area. Today I'm going to talk a bit about the foundation, in which I was a co-founder in 2016, which was 3 years after Reva was killed. I'm sure most of you, I'm almost 100% sure that everybody in this room is familiar with what happened to Reva and the case. You have at least some idea of what happened. But I can almost guarantee you that there is something, I'm going to share with you something that actually nobody knew, or very few people knew, that that Reva actually studied to be a lawyer. I think that's also common knowledge. But that she was made a career out of her hobby, which was modeling, and she became a public figure. And the morning on the 14th of November, she was actually due to deliver a speech of February. Sorry, my nerves are getting the better of me. On the 14th of February, she was actually due to deliver a speech at an all-girls school, and she was going to speak about violence against women and children. And she was going to take this opportunity of Valentine's Day, being love, and saying that the girls need to love themselves and empower themselves and watch out for signs. She was also going to reveal for the first time that she had been previously in an abusive relationship, and this is something that she had never shared with anybody. She hadn't even shared it with her parents. And I think that just shows you that that is a sign of abuse, is that people, no matter how strong you are and how confident you come across, when you're being abused, abuse takes something away from you and debilitates you as a normal functioning human being. You either take on the role as somebody that wants to care for the person, or you feel that you've deserved it. So I think Reva saw the value in this message that these girls really needed to know from a very young age, not to ignore the signs and to love themselves. It actually had taken Reva many years to rebuild her self-confidence and to build herself up back. And she thought that was very important, that these girls, these young girls, needed to know this. And that they should bear the signs or take heed to the signs before something happened, which unfortunately was something that happened to Reva. So I would like to say also, someone who's myself experienced abuse previously many years ago, that, yeah, what do we do? How do we decrease the stats of abuse against women and children? And I think, I mean, it's a very complex situation, and we can sit for hours and months, and as we know, that's why we have this awareness campaign every single year for years and years and years. But what we can do is come to rallies like this and marches like this, but also what we can do is, it starts with us. It starts with us in our home, the parents with their children, teachers with their students, and also to remember that hurt people hurt. I'd also just like to, or I'd like to end off now just to explain a little bit about what the foundation actually does, just a short note. Okay. The Reva Rebecca Steenkamp Foundation is a registered non-profit organization who believes that education is the key to breaking the cycle of abuse. It primarily informs victims of the resources available to them, and prides itself in annually awarding the Reva Law Bursary to a final law student. And this is something that they have done since 2016. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Kim. If you'd like to know a little bit more about the foundation, please reach out to Kim afterwards if you want to know more information, how you can help the foundation, anything like that, then Kim will be available afterwards to answer any questions that you might have. I would now like to call on Sindile, who will be reading a poem for us. I know that he had to go and get a costume ready, so if he is here. Sindile? Let's just give him a moment. Welcome is running after him. Thanks, Welcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is very important for you to know that the message that you hear here today is something that you can share with a neighbor, a friend, a family member that you know need to reach out to somebody or an organization. In the foyer, we've got various organizations here that you can really reach out to. So don't leave here without a pamphlet. Put it in that letterbox of a neighbor if you don't want to upset the person by letting them know that you know the secret. But I think that for a very, very long time, victims have been too silent. And when we look at the statistics of gender-based violence, it has increased tremendously. So we need to look at, is it because people are speaking up about it now and always been quiet in the past? Or is it just that there is such a scourge in our society of gender-based violence all of a sudden? And it starts with the youth. If we reach out to the young men and women in our society, and we as parents and older generation teach them that it is wrong to lift your hand. And I'm not just talking about men. There are women abusers out there as well. And it touches our children. So if we tell our teenage sons and daughters, if you find yourself in a domestic relationship at a young age and you need to look out for the signs, somebody that is too possessive of you, wanting to know your every move, where are you all the time, those are signs. And they need to identify that and come forward and not keep quiet, so that the perpetrators can actually be told that what they are doing is wrong. And if you are raised in a family or in a household where domestic violence is basically an everyday thing, that child sees it and thinks that it is the norm, and that is not right. And then when the police or somebody else come and then try to rectify the behavior, then they think, but if mom and dad can do it, why can't I? So we really, really need to get this message out there to say that we need to stop abuse. It is wrong, and we need to reach out to everybody out there that is silently suffering. Sindile, are you ready? I can't sing, so I'm not going to sing for you. And the band, I think they're waiting for their part in the program. Here he comes. Please welcome Sindile.
I hear women crying, tears in their face, reaping, albinos ducking, small kids snatched out of their mothers' wombs before they are done developing. I see the baobab tree being watered by female blood, soul erosion by the bodies of the dead. I see the sky filled with angry souls of the deceased, social media flooded by images of the departed. Surely men and violence should be separated. The first time I ever saw a body bag, my mother was lying on it. She loved the wrong man and she paid with her life for it. She died her former self. A strangulation by a belt, her throat broke. Everyone saw it coming. Their history was damning. Death was always looming. Usindile uzakubulala wena. A warning that fell into a heart that was blinded by love. Survived by a little boy who was conceived through rape, another trauma that matured like a grape wine. Survived by a little girl who she never had time for, as she devoted all her time into covering up her scars. Survived by a tormented mother who never approved of the kinship. She always maintained that there's no relationship without friendship. She survived the stab wound in her neck, the deliberate car accident, but she couldn't survive the strangulation, ending all speculation that predicted that she will pass on before the age of 35 years. Her dimpled face, bright smile never showed any scars. Oh, little did they know that she was empty and dying inside. Her cry for help fell on deaf ears up until the day she decided to let the pain reside within her. A body bag. The first time my sister ever saw a body bag, our mother was lying on it. She barricaded the door as they brought the body bag, a last stand for a fallen mother who had passed on like a dog. Her uncontrollable cries sent shockwave of doom and destruction. The dejection in her voice was like a collusion of ocean waters. The horror in her cry was deafening. It was like being in a zinc house on a stormy day. She pulled down a soaking wet nappy from all the horrors her eyes had witnessed, lay down beside the lifeless body of a dead mother, and started shouting, "Yiza nengubo Sindile, yiza nengubo uyagodola umama." She started wiping her bloody nose, started kissing her from her forehead to her chin, to her cheeks to her nose, as if a kiss would resuscitate her, as if she would open her eyes, invite us into her arms, and shield us from this misery. The first time my sister ever saw a body bag, she was just 4 years old. She cried out loud, seeking me within a crowd. A never forgotten cry of my mother being beaten to the ground, bruised, necklaced, her body set on fire, as if it was enough that she lived her life in fear. Mob justice falsely putting their name to practice. "Sibulale gqirha!" shouted Utata Matwara. Accused of witchcraft because of her God-given craft. My Oma's lifestyle was nomadic. Everywhere she settled, she was accused of being demonic. A stranger to her own kids, refuge in her own mind, asylum seeker in her own home. She became psychotic. None were sympathetic. But to think they would burn her alive was inconceivable. The odds were improbable. But just like St. Peter in Rome, they burned her upside down, closer to her home. Ubudvukile shouted, "Tetelestai, Tetelestai," dressed like a Muslim as if he was in Palestine, mocking my Oma's death with that of Jesus, as if he knew that her death would dry out rivers. These night walkers thought they were going to be indistinguishable, but their voices and scent rendered them describable. The pack was led by Utatu Petla, cursing and yelling was Umampetla. Uzimkita was giving false testimonies to a crowd that was now suffering from selective memories. You see, they didn't kill a witch, but a lady that could feed the entire family with one fish. Oh, a giant, a gallant, a woman of stature, a natural, a mother with a touch soft as a feather. A breadwinner was violently taken from us. Her life could never be forsaken. Every time I think of her death, I go insane, because for us, life has never become the same. The sun no longer shines. These memories no longer die. One day, Mama, your killers will pay the bills. Help me, somebody. How do we erase the memories of your mother's bent body? Hearing her internal organs bursting, her eyes popping, her nails and hair reduced to a ball of ash, her body reduced to a ball of flesh. Forgive me if I appear insane. It's just that in death, my mother remains. A silenced voice bears no testimony. Cuffed hands leave no incriminating report. Tight feet leave no footprints. A blue eye can hide a tear, but most of all, a dead woman gives no evidence. An imbecile, an obtuse, an unprepossessing degenerate. Verbal abuse and humiliation was a modus operandi. She made me believe that loving me was doing me a favor, that I was alone in this endeavor. My backside was against the wall. I had completed my fall. She had to be silenced because a dead woman gives no evidence. Relationships often end long after love had ended. No one can bear testimony to having a girlfriend that belongs to the highest bidder. Those feelings turned the soul dark and bitter. Oh my God, a son. It became harder to live. A fight over paternity, a series of fights over infidelity. I didn't mean to break her bones. I didn't mean to fracture her skull. I did mean to burn her body, though, because I was under the impression that a dead woman gives no evidence. Dear men, this trending genocide must come to an end. Child genocide must cease. Albino killings must stop. Xenophobia should leave our hearts sore. Dear men, we were created to be protectors of our women and children. We are lovers of humanity, cornerstones in which harmony on earth is being built. And dear women, on behalf of all men in this room and in this world, I apologize for the heinous crime we inflict on you. And to everyone else, I thank you.
Sindile, powerful, powerful. That is all that I can say. I'm actually lost for words, but the message, I'm sure, came across to everybody. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate you being here today. And what Sindile said earlier on in his poem about the woman smiling, no one knowing that she was actually a victim of gender-based violence, abuse, domestic violence. And that is exactly it, is when we get asked, how do you identify a suspicious person? Everybody is suspicious. How do you identify a victim of abuse? We can't unless they speak up and they tell you something. That is how we identify them. Sindile said that he's got an event coming up this weekend, and if you'd like to know a bit more about it, please approach him after the program. Can we just give him another round of applause, please? Right, now we get on to living legends, very close to my heart. Bets Maritz, can you please come forward and tell us a bit about your organization, please?
Okay, that she's introduced you, so I don't have to introduce myself. I first of all would just like to thank the people that supported us in the march today and all those seniors that made the march and they came here safely and sound. Thank you to those guys that support us. We're a seniors club where we have over 100 seniors, and because we have our monthly meetings and we go out about 3 times a month, we get to know the seniors closely to us. They become friends, actually they become family. So we hear the sad stories which you normally would not have heard. We've just had one case, she's joined us 3 months ago, and she said that she's a nervous wreck because the room she's renting from, the lady is abusing her mentally and she's a nervous wreck. Please help me. So we took the routes and we found out, and we walked the wrong road with her. Pastor Brad walked with us, and she's now first on the list in a retirement village, and she's found a little room somewhere else where she's now quietly waiting. She says, wants to thank the living legends. With us, she would never have known where to go. So then we just feel we're not sitting there doing nothing. We've had very sad stories, and we've had gender-based ones as well. So I just want to say, above all of that, Captain Chandler is our guardian angel at the moment. She comes and talks to us periodically. She tells us what the seniors' rights are, and they know her doors open, and they feel very comfortable to go to you. We salute you, Captain Chandler. But that's all I want to say, that even the seniors look happy and fine, but beneath them all, there's somewhere, somehow, they are suffering. So I think the living legends are doing their part in trying to help those that can, and everybody in the living legends help each other. Thank you very much.
Living Legends also have a Facebook page, so if you need to find out a little bit more about them, then please do visit their social media page. And also afterwards, please come and see Bets if you know of somebody that is elderly and being abused. And also something that Bets did mention here is that abuse is not always just physical. It's emotional, it can be financial, psychological abuse. So there are different abuse that you get, and it's not just physical. So always remember that, please. Right, on to some entertainment, and I'm going to call on the beautiful Danica from TLC to provide us with some entertainment. Thank you. Please put your hands together for Danica.
Step out of the shadows, step out of the grave, break into the wild, and don't be afraid. Run into wide open spaces, graces waiting for you. Dance like the weight has been lifted, graces waiting. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom, there is freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom, there is freedom. Come out of the dark, just as you are, into the fullness of His love. Oh, the Spirit is here, let there be freedom. Let there be freedom. Come on. We're singing for freedom this morning. Come on, bring all of your burdens, bring all of your scars. Come back to communion, come back to the start. Run into wide open spaces, graces waiting for you. Dance like the weight has been lifted. Graces waiting. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. There is freedom. Come on, sing with. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. There is freedom. Come out of the dark, just as you are, into the fullness of His love. Oh, the Spirit is here, let there be freedom. Let there be freedom. Yeah, freedom. Oh, we're singing for freedom. Come on, we sing it. Chains will fall, prisons shake at the sound of Jesus' name. Lives made whole, hearts awake at the sound of Jesus' name. Come on! Chains will fall, prisons shake at the sound of Jesus' name. Lives made whole, hearts awake at the sound of Jesus' name. Come on! Clap your hands, put your hands together. Woo! Come on, where the Spirit is. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. There is freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. There is freedom. Come out of the dark, just as you are, into the fullness of His love. Oh, the Spirit is here, let there be freedom. Let there be freedom. Yeah. Let there be freedom. Ooh, let there be freedom. Come on. Hallelujah. Amen. Next, I'm going to call my colleague to quickly come and share a testimony on HIV.
Hi, good morning, everybody. So my name is Claudine van Wyk. I'm the daughter of late Karen van Wyk. So I just want to tell you guys a little bit about my life, how it used to be. So my mom fell pregnant when she was 15. When she was 16. So my grandmother wasn't happy about it, and she kicked us out on the streets. So I lived on the streets Thank you. I lived on the streets from when I was born till plus minus 4 or 5 years. I landed up in a lot of foster houses. When I go there, I lived there for a couple of years. There was always a problem at the end of the day, then I had to move. And living by foster parents in a home, it's like you always have to do extra stuff, or they shout words at you, they call you names and stuff, and it actually breaks you. There's always a saying that I like, that like stick and stones may break your bones, but words will never heal. Like you can beat a child, I don't say it's like it's right or something, but the words, you will always remember that. Like, I still believe that I'm stupid. I still believe that I'm dumb. Like that stuff. Okay, sorry. So, my colleague Danica wanted to tell me to tell you guys about HIV. So, I was born with HIV. I'm not ashamed. I found out when I was 13. We didn't know how I got it, and my mom finally told me that I got it by birth. I was always afraid on how people would see me. If I would ever get a husband, ever get married, ever get children. And today I'm standing here. I have a beautiful fiance, his name is Roland Stemmet. He knows all my history, everything that I went through. I have two beautiful brothers that's younger than me, Siobhan and Shelton, HIV free. I also have a beautiful daughter that's a year and a half, also HIV free. So at the end, I just wanted to say, I wouldn't have been here without TLC. I know that's not part of my speech, but I got adopted by the founder of TLC, Colleen Peterson and Derek Peterson. So if it wasn't for them, and everything I went through, I wouldn't have been here. I would have landed up on streets. I would have been snuffing glue. I would have been abused. I probably would have sold myself or something like that. But because of TLC, my family is safe. My brother is also off the streets. Unfortunately, we got adopted in different families. My mom passed away. But we reunited. We happy. And I just want to say thank you to TLC, thank you to my mom, Colleen Peterson, because the reason why I'm standing here, the reason why I'm successful today, is because of my parents. Thank you.
Claudia, thank you so much. You are very, very brave. Thank you for sharing your life story with us, and we do appreciate you coming forward. Danica, Colonel Chandler, if you need a singer for the band, please, Danica, give your number. The Colonel will be in touch. Thank you for that beautiful song as well. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are moving along a different program than what you see on the board. I must make an apology for Captain Bum from our Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Unit. He phoned me way before everybody arrived here to say that he's got an urgent matter that he would have to tend to, and he was going to rush here. And I said to him, look, I don't want you involved in an accident, so don't rush for me, and please, just be safe, and let's just rather make an apology for him. So I do apologize for him not being here and sharing what the FCS unit does. But just basically in brief, the unit is there to investigate crimes against children, sexual offences, and exactly what it says here, family violence, child protection, and sexual offences unit. So they investigate those type of cases, and they are situated at Milnerton Police Station. That is their base camp. So when a case is reported at the police station, it gets sent to them to investigate. So we are just also waiting for Senior Prosecutor Carmen Daniels. As soon as she arrives, she is on her way, she just got a bit lost, then we will put her back onto the program. I would now like to call on our CPF chairperson, Mr. Harris, to come forward. Department of Social Development, Pastor Brad, and if any of our ward councillors are present here, to please come forward to give your messages of support, please. You may all come together and then we can just hand over. Thank you.
Good morning to all of you. It is absolutely, in my 10 years of coming to these, the opening of 16 days, this is the best turnout ever, and it's a very wonderful thing to see. I think there was two powerful statements this morning. One from Pastor Brad, which said, "We are our brother's keeper," and the second one was, "Silence bears no testimony." We all have a responsibility to care for our neighbors, our friends, etc. So the silence must be broken. And every year we sort of come together for the 16 days and we living in hope. But it is wonderful to see what some of our organizations, community organizations are doing. TLC, unbelievable organization, rehabilitating people and bringing them into the mainstream of society with love. Their children's program, the abused children on the street, what they are achieving is fantastic. Same as Peace Homes, Home of Hope, Little Brinks. These are wonderful organizations that really do achieve. I know that I walk from in the station back to the back of TLC quite regularly, and I see Ethel and the team with these children from the street. You know, little ruffians, you think there's no opportunity for them. They are transformed. They are transformed by the love and the care that they are receiving, and they are seeing another life. And it's this little things that they do that actually improve our society. And I think we all have a responsibility, whatever way we can, to do it. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lola, and I'm from the Department of Social Development. I took a sigh many a times already. What a beautiful event it is. I was just taken aback, like through the program was unfolding itself, and I thought to myself, we can all agree with a loud sigh in this room that gender-based violence has long plagued South Africa, and it remains a persistent issue that has taken many lives, haunted citizens, and it remains, you know, a persistent issue that we're still working on, of which I am proud to see all of us with this beauty of unity, of which I believe we are here in solidarity to make it our vigorous and unrelenting focus to eradicating gender-based violence. Just a few messages of support from us to everyone, to the victims, survivors, and to the community at large. We would like to say that you are not invisible. We see you. We feel you. You are stronger than you know. We need you to hold on and to take a step, for there is help. We vow to spare neither strength nor courage to ensure you get the assistance and the support you deserve. Thank you.
Often we are overwhelmed when we turn to media and social news and the TV and we see what's going on in the world. But the reality is we maybe not be able to change the world, but we can change and influence our communities. And so I'm so proud of Tableview. I'm here 23 years now, and the old story of you can't change or save everyone, but if each one took a starfish and threw it back into the water, you're making a difference. And so let us continue to be the salt. Salt adds flavor. Salt preserves. Salt brings healing in a wound. salt makes a difference. Let us all, taking hands together, joining hands, be the light in a time where there's darkness. And the acronym for team is together, each achieve more. We cannot do it on our own. We need the help of our law enforcement that is here, Metro, SAPS. We need each one, but we also need our NGOs and churches itself. A church is not on its own. A church is part of a community. And often we think we are the solution. We are not. But together, we are all part of the solution of making a difference in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris, Pastor Brad, colleague from Social Development. Thank you very much for your messages of support here this morning. It is greatly appreciated by the South African Police Service and the community here present today. Thank you so much. We are now going to do a lighting of the candles, so I would like to call on Pastor Brad again, and then Mr. Harris again, and Captain van der Heever to please come forward and just to take up your space there in the front of the candle, just behind it, please. Those that would like to take photographs, please move forward before we carry on, because I would like us to have a moment of silence first in remembrance of those that have lost their lives due to domestic violence, abuse, and those that are suffering silently. We need to keep a thought for them as well. So when we light these candles here today, I think just say a silent prayer. Just bow your head and say a silent prayer for everybody in your own way. So just a moment of silence, please. Just bow our heads and say a prayer. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. You may be seated. So when we look at these candles here this morning, there's a flame, and that is, we can probably put 1 million behind each one of them for the people that we would have to pray for in our country and globally, because it's not just a pandemic in South Africa, it is a global pandemic. So we need to really say a prayer and keep in mind all of those affected by domestic violence. Maybe not even directly, but indirectly if abuse is taking place in front of your eyes. I'd like to call on Danica again, very quickly, to do another song item for us. Please put your hands together for Danica.
till you're all I want, till you're everything, and my life is the altar, and my song will be the sacrifice. So let it rise higher till you alone are glorified. Jesus, set my heart on fire till you're all I want, till you're everything, till you're everything, my Jesus, my Jesus. Jesus, set my heart on fire till you're all I want, till you're everything, and my life is the altar, and my song will be the sacrifice. So let it rise, so let it rise higher till you alone are glorified. My life, and my life is the altar, and my song will be the sacrifice. So let it rise higher till you alone are glorified. Come on, sing it out. Be glorified, be glorified. Come on, sing with. Be glorified, be glorified, oh Jesus, be glorified, be glorified in our lives, Jesus, be glorified, be glorified, be glorified, be glorified, be glorified, oh Jesus, be glorified. Ooh. And every breath is for you. You are worth it. You are worth it all. And my whole life I give to you, 'cause you are worth it. You are worth it all. And every breath is for you. You are worth it. You are worth it all. And my whole life I give to you, 'cause you are worth it. You are worth it all. And every breath is for you. You are worth it. You are worth it all. And my whole life I give to you, 'cause you are worth it. And my life is the altar, and my and my life is the altar, and my song will be the sacrifice. So let it rise, so let it rise higher, till you alone are glorified. Be glorified, be glorified, be glorified, be glorified, Jesus, be glorified, be glorified. Oh, we want to lift your name, God. Be glorified, you and only you, Jesus. Be glorified, the name above all other names. Be glorified, be glorified. Hallelujah.
Absolute voice of an angel. Stunning. Thank you, Danica. Beautiful. Again, can Chandler take note, please? Okay. So these a few items that were collected for Peace Home, and I would like now to call on Mr. Harris, Captain van der Heever, and Aziza to please come forward so that it can be handed over to you, please. There are more items coming, and that will be delivered, but just for pictures, please, we just need you to strike a pose, and yes, get the Peace Home youth involved, Aziza. Okay. Aziza, we just need to give a few minutes. The other items are coming in as well. The delivery just arrived. So thank you to everybody who contributed. Absolutely every single person, thank you very much for giving a donation. And there's more items coming. Just very quickly, for those of you who are interested in taking a raffle for a 500 Rand Wedgwood parcel, numbers are being sold at 10 Rand a ticket, and those funding will also go to Peace Home. And there's only a few more numbers left. So you can go to Ethel right there by the entrance, get your number, because within the next few minutes or two, we will be doing a lucky draw. So you will be excused quickly to go and grab a number, take your 10 Rand with, and the draw will take place very shortly. Thank you. Thank you. I hope everybody got their sprint in to get that number sorted. So I'm going to do the acknowledgements first before we do that draw, and that will be myself. to do the acknowledgement. So please bear with me because I got everything typed out here. It's been a bit edited, etc., etc. Just 3 pages. Okay, as the project leader, may I express my gratitude to you all for being here today. I am deeply humbled, and I'm sure not just me, but my team that put everything together. And I would now like to call them all to come forward, please. The team that helped me to put everything together, that attended the meetings, and I'm not seeing anyone coming forward unless they're buying raffle tickets. Kamte, waar's jy? Come forward, please. Carolina, you're on your way. The band was also represented as well at the meetings. Bets, please, must I call everybody by name? Please come forward. Everybody that was part of the meetings, a lot more than these, I can assure you. So you can just please stand wherever you want. I just want you all to receive acknowledgement for helping put this day together, making it this success. You guys brought the community here, and I really, really appreciate having you on my team. And please, everybody, put your welcome. Yes, come forward, please. Right. Are we taking a photo? Okay, that wasn't really part of the deal, but let's do that, and I'll quickly put down and smile. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you. A lot of dedication, commitment, and hard work came from my team. So really, I do appreciate every single effort that you put in here. To my beautiful colleagues, with the exception of Captain van der Heever, to my beautiful lady colleagues from Tableview Police Station, thank you for also being part of this event and making me very proud, marching from the station here and really feeling unified. Thank you so much for coming. To the amazing police band, I am super stoked to have you here. I always sing your praises, and today you did not disappoint. Everybody, and I mean every single person here, really enjoyed the entertainment. Thank you so much, Lieutenant Colonel Chandler, for being here with your team. It is greatly appreciated, each and every one. Thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. So I acknowledge the representatives from the Tableview Community Police Forum, Tableview Neighborhood Watch, all government organizations, all non-profit organizations, all non-government organizations, our SAPS victim support volunteers, all law enforcement agencies, our senior citizens, the youth, and our community at large. Thank you to Pastor Brad and Lisa for availing Church on the Rise for this occasion and for the launch. Your unwavering support is always appreciated. To our local newspapers present here today, to Tuzelu, thank you so much for being here and for capturing today for us along the route and at the event. It's greatly appreciated. If you may just stand, please, because I know that you would like to see some people so they can just identify you. And to Tuzelu. So he would like to speak to some of our guest speakers, and for those of you who would like and don't mind being interviewed for table talk, just to meet him afterwards, please. To our guest speakers, Kim Martin, Bets Maritz, thank you for sharing with us the special work that you do in the community. The rest of the program participants, Sindile, Danica, thank you for your contribution today. A special word of thanks to all the SAPS partners, the Provincial Traffic, Law Enforcement and Metro Police for escorting the march safely to our venue, as well as to Cape Medics who also ensured the safety of your arrival here. Your partnership is indispensable. Aziza and your team, thank you for cooking up a storm to serve our guests today. We are looking forward to a scrumptious finger eats, as well as to this beautiful cake here next to me. That was a great surprise, and I'm sure that we will be digging into that as well a little bit later. To TLC for providing the the tea and the coffee and the milk, and to Tableview Neighborhood Watch for providing the water that you found on your seats. I think that we ran a little bit low on that. The most special thank you to the youth who welcomed everyone today. Caitlin, you are the future of our nation, an inspiration to everyone, and may you continue to be brave and a role model to our youth. Would you please come forward? I have a little gift from me to you. Caitlin is also busy with exams, so I truly appreciate you giving up your time of studying to be here today and assisting and being part of the program. So I would also just quickly, it's not really part of the acknowledgements, but for those people who need a lift back to the station, I hope not to see many hands, but if you do, I need you just to put up your hand, please. Oh, not many. Okay. And those that can offer a lift to those few people, can you please put up your hands? There's a few. Okay, please look around for those of you that do need a lift. Just look around and see where you see their hand and just go to that person afterwards to get a lift back, please. I got also space in my car for 4 people. Okay, swiftly moving on. I now want to ask everybody to come forward to sign the pledge. Firstly, our role players that were part of the program, if you can please come forward, and then the band will be playing some music for us while the pledge is being signed. The pledge is in support of gender-based violence, not just for 16 days, but 365. And I want everybody in this room to please put your signature on that pledge. And then only after that would I like Pastor Brad to bless the food for us so that we can enjoy the refreshments that were prepared by Aziza and her team, Church on the Rise, and TLC and so on. So once everybody has signed, please listen to the band. They're going to give us some more entertainment. But really, thank you all for coming today. And I wish you a very safe and blessed festive season that is coming ahead. Please remember to reach out to our partners that was here today that shared their messages if you need any information. Thank you so much. And please give yourself a round of applause.